Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'd like to put Wings of Fire characters in their proper Hogwarts houses. This video idea was suggested to me by Abigail Schultz Loves Wings of Fire. Thank you so much for the idea. I knew I couldn't pass this opportunity up as both a Wings of Fire and Harry Potter fanatic. Also, before the video begins, huge shout out to my patrons, Crazy Roblox Man, LordIsopod, and DragoLover95. Thank you so much for supporting me. Links to their social medias are in the description down below. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. So, here's a brief summary of how Hogwarts houses work and what the different characteristics are for each one. Students at the secret magical school of Hogwarts are sorted into different houses based on their personalities and traits. So, what are these houses? The first one is Ravenclaw, which is actually my Hogwarts house. Ravenclaw students are usually intelligent, love knowledge, are very curious, creative, and are associated with wit. They present themselves in different ways, but the key traits to describe this house would definitely be a love for knowledge and a creative mind. The second is Hufflepuff, and this house prides itself on hard work, dedication, patience, loyalty, and fair play. The next would be Gryffindor, which is the most notable of all the houses. Gryffindor students are typically brave, show a lot of chivalry, are daring, and have a lot of nerve. The final house is Slytherin, which focuses on ambition, leadership, self-preservation, cunningness, and resourcefulness. So, now that you know a bit more about the Hogwarts houses, or refreshing your memory, which Wings of Fire character belongs where? I'll be going in order of the different protagonists, and if you guys really like this video, then I may end up doing it with other side characters. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into this. I think it's pretty obvious that Clay is a Hufflepuff. He's honestly just so sweet and cares about his friends, and he's always fair to everyone. While he does experience some Gryffindor traits, such as extreme selflessness and putting himself at risk to save others, I would ultimately say that Clay is a Hufflepuff due to his caring nature. He always makes sure everyone has a turn, and is one of the most loyal dragons you'll ever meet. His patience knows no bounds, and he's dedicated to everything he does. He will never give up on a dragon. Tsunami is 100% a Gryffindor, and I think there's no doubt about that. She's courageous, always puts her friends before herself, would do anything to protect them, and is quite daring. Tsunami is super protective of the Dragonets of Destiny and would give up her life if it meant they could survive. While she may come off as a bit too bold at times, I think it just goes to show how much she really does care about everyone. She's the kind of dragon who expresses her love through brute strength and extreme bravery. Deep down, she's a total softie when it comes to her loved ones. Okay, Flori is definitely a Slytherin. She's a great leader and has the ability to protect herself. She's also incredibly resourceful with what she has, which is why she was able to train the Rainwings to fight. Though she didn't have much, Flori used what tools she had available and did a fantastic job. She's incredibly ambitious when it comes to her ideas and will let nothing get in the way. She's one of the best examples of a kind-hearted Slytherin that you can find. Because, believe it or not, most Slytherins aren't just villains, unlike how they're typically depicted in the Harry Potter books. Anyone can be evil, even a Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, or Gryffindor. Starflight was definitely the easiest one to do on this list. He practically has Ravenclaw traits in his blood. Starflight is super knowledgeable on different subjects of interest, such as history and geography, and is a very curious dragon. He's super creative and innovative, and never stops thinking. He's definitely a true Ravenclaw at heart. Okay, I think this one is pretty obvious. Sunny is the definition of a Hufflepuff. She's a very hard worker and can be quite determined. She's loyal to not only her friends, but also the prophecy. She doesn't believe in giving up. Sunny also believes in fairness and for everyone to be treated equally, and is the one there for moral support whenever her friends are feeling hopeless. Despite her small size and abnormal traits, Sunny can support herself well enough on her own. Even if other dragons don't always believe in her back, she's one of the most loyal and loving friends a dragon can have. Now we're moving on to the second arc, starting with Moon. I think a lot of Ravenclaws relate to her shyness and love of reading, and I know I definitely connected to her when I read Moon Rising. She's an avid scroll reader, very curious and creative, and is always using her mind for great things. Even though her constant thoughts can lead to a lot of worrying, Moon finally allows herself to be the true dragon she is at heart, and I love her for it. And honestly, what book lover didn't get super excited when reading about the Lost Kingdom of the Night's mega library? All Ravenclaws are pretty much geeks at heart, and I know I sure am. Winter was probably the most difficult character for me to place in a Hogwarts house. After a lot of deciding, I ultimately went with Slytherin. Winter is a very ambitious dragon and will never let anything get in his way when he's trying to accomplish a goal or complete a task. When he was first introduced, his biggest priority was self-preservation. He can be incredibly resourceful at times, using whatever he has around him to solve his problems. I think Winter is another really good example of what a true Slytherin can look like. Once he let go of his egotistical and Ice-Wing first thinking, he allowed himself to truly become a leader in his own life, but also humble himself enough to listen to others. Pearl is a true Gryffindor, and I think those traits really shine in her new lifestyle. She's incredibly brave and would do anything to protect Clay or even her other new friends. She definitely has a lot of nerve, especially when challenging other dragons much more powerful than her. No matter how big or strong the enemy is, Pearl would never give up. If someone tells her something is impossible, it only gives Pearl more of a reason to make it possible. She's incredibly daring and has shown so much courage throughout her life. The next would be Turtle, and this was a very difficult one for me, and I kept switching back between Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw, so I ended up going with both. Yes, I know combo houses aren't canon, nor do I like them at all, but honestly, I couldn't choose for this one. Turtle is a very patient and relatively calm dragon, and can be super loyal to the ones he loves. He also expresses a likeness towards writing, and wishes to be an author himself. Turtle is very curious, creative, inspired, and is the perfect example of a Ravenpuff. Even though he hides his knowledge from others and appears lazy on the outside, there's a lot going on in his brain. For the final R2 protagonist, I think it's pretty obvious that Keebley is a Gryffindor. If it means a dragon is safe, he'll go to any measure to protect them. He's incredibly selfless, hardworking, shows immense chivalry, and can be quite adventurous at times. Despite his tough upbringing, Keebley will stop at nothing to ensure every dragon gets the best. His loyalty is incredible, and if you're nice to him, then he'll surely be nice to you back. He's such a brave dragon at heart, and Moon is so lucky to have him. Starting off with Arc 3, we have Blue. He is 100% a Hufflepuff, and I think there's zero doubt about that. Blue believes in second chances, loves everybody, and is incredibly loyal. He also favors equality and fairness. He's honestly such a sweet dragon, and will always believe that there's good in everyone. Next up would be Cricket, who is the absolute dictionary definition of a Ravenclaw. I mean, come on. She's inquisitive, polite, very intelligent, one of the most curious and creative dragons you'll ever come across. Whether she's reading a scroll or simply learning something new, Cricket has a blast doing it. The more knowledge, the merrier. Okay, this is by far the most obvious one. Sutherland was perfectly a Slytherin. She's a fantastic leader, one of the most ambitious dragons ever known, super cunning, and resourceful at all times. She uses her thinking skills for the best, and strives to be a better dragon. Sundu is one of the best leaders in the series, and is always working on improving her skills. Snowfall was a very tricky one for me, as she exhibits some bravery, but mostly selfishness at first. In the end, I decided on Slytherin, but this one was super difficult to choose. Snowfall has become such a great leader for her tribe, originally caring for self-preservation, and is resourceful with the magical artifacts she's been gifted with. Though she isn't the bravest of all dragons, or the most humble of all dragons, Snowfall won't let anything stop her when she sets her mind on it. Even though she's still navigating through life and discovering her own emotions, I think I can say that Snowfall is a Slytherin at heart. And finally, Luna. Oh boy, was this challenging for me. I wrote a list several months ago on what houses Wings of Fire characters would belong in, but that was before the Flames of Hope. I thought Luna was mostly a brave and confident character, but her personality sorta got switched in her POV book. But I'm still going with Gryffindor due to her love of justice, courage to speak up for herself and others, and the nerve she has when speaking to Hivewings. I think Luna is a great example of how to not stay silent in situations like these. I honestly love her for it. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. Do any of your ideas not agree with mine? Let me know down below. I know this video was a little different from my usual style, but I actually had a lot of fun with it. If you're interested in a part 2 with other Wings of Fire characters, then let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!